Your show.
Yeah, what time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, what time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, he's back from the dead.
Your
Putting it
show.
on the map, yeah. Saskatoon, right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah.
Your show.
What time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah.
Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, move on to treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Well, a very happy Tuesday to you. I don't even know why I sing. I think I sing at the start of every show just because I'm so excited that the time has come yet again for another edition of Your Show. I am Gary, and I am joined. Every Tuesday, we do a little thing called the All Out Angst Podcast. Episode 2 is now up on all of the audio places you go to get your musics. And actually, I have a funny story about that, as I tried to find one to post on the social medias, and it's like everywhere. There's a Spotify, there was even an Amazon one. There's an Amazon thing, all sorts of stuff. So wherever you find your audio podcast, they are there. Just search up the All That Angst Podcast and you will find it. Uncle Mike is still on the road along with his all natural products, every single one. He's got them hauled up. He's making his way back here to beautiful Saskatoon from British Columbia. So he will be gone for this episode, but we'll be back next week when we get back at it with him. But we do have a fill-in guest as well as our regular here each and every Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Matt from all the bands and Dragon! Yeah, baby! Dragon! Uncle Mike, you got so sexy. How are you?
Yeah, thank you. Natural products make you look younger, apparently,
That's it.
and
You're on that packing peanuts
yeah,
diet.
my voice sounds different. Like I look different, and yeah, it's crazy.
I love this. So we got our man Dragon here from the viewing room, along with our main man LB, who's on the ones and twos today. Is trying to train Network Ryan. That sentence got a little hard at the end there, but I'm not sure how it's going. I'm seeing a lot of middle fingers getting thrown up here and a lot of kind gestures, so that's good. It looks
But
like
we
it's going
are
well.
live, so we're succeeding.
That's the best part. And I didn't want to get away from the three-man setup because I find it adds. It always adds, especially when it's a young whippersnapper like yourself.
Thank you.
I just
Yeah.
can't carry the show on my own.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? The beautiful part is we have people like a guy from one show and a guy from another show. When they come together, it's just like on Fridays when we have Uncle Brando here from the CCO podcast and we get Hardcore here from the Past Our Bedtime podcast. You're not just coming together and talking about, you know, what's going on in each other's lives, but you're also promoting your shows just by being here.
Yeah.
Really, it's 3 shows for the price of 1, and I think that's what we're here to do.
Getting 3 shows stoned at once.
Value.
Yeah,
Value.
yeah, exactly.
So over on the All That Angst podcast, we've been doing a lot of writing, really, is what it is. And we decided to sort of try this new idea of writing a song during a podcast. And we came up with a bunch of ideas and themes. And Matt from all the bands showed up with all of the amazing music to go along with it. And it's been a lot of fun. And as we were sort of on that journey, we came across ideas of other ways to use Matt and his incredible ability to strum the steel horse. Was that right? Strum the steel horse?
Sure, I'm fine with that.
Okay, I think that's because was it Bon Jovi on the steel horse I ride? He didn't even play guitar though, did he? Bon Jovi, what a
No,
poser.
that was more of a Richie Sambora
yeah,
thing for
I think,
that band.
I think Bon Jovi's flexing a little. He probably can play the guitar.
Oh,
think he
you
can play?
know he can. All these guys.
He
they
ain't
know
no
how to
Prince
play.
on
Yeah.
the guitar, but I bet he's pretty good. Was Prince? I heard Prince was like the most incredible
Oh,
guitarist.
Fantastic. Again, I never really got into him just because, you know, I was into
Yeah,
punk
different
at the
music, of
time.
course.
But a lot of people I respect really love his
Yeah,
musicianship
which is
and playing.
crazy.
So I can't attest to it myself because I'm a little ignorant to his music, but I respect it nonetheless.
Well, of course. And this is, you were asking, what am I going to provide? That's what Dragon says. Like, I don't want to come out. I don't know what I'm going to bring to the table. You are the
Yeah.
voice of the young people. Is there a person that you would say is the modern day guitarist for kids your age? Is there anyone that stands out for playing guitar like they did in our time?
No, I mean, really, I don't know. Like,
Do you even listen to music with guitars?
That's
Besides,
kinda what- that's
besides
kinda what I
Tuesday's
was
Gone?
thinking.
Yeah,
no, yeah, yeah.
like legit.
No, I mean it's tough to say, right? Like my taste in music, it's hard. You're making me like the voice of the young generation, but my music taste is classic rock. right? I
Nice.
go home and I listen
Yeah,
to
here,
Pearl
here.
Jam. I listen to Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
I like ACD in my dream, you know, and
Just
see them
buttering
and,
us up, you
and,
know.
and so I wouldn't know anyone modern day really, like Ed Sheeran maybe.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yes.
You're
good-
laughing, but
as a
look
good-
at us. We're like, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That's like really I don't.
Yeah, I had heard a thing like when guitar solos come on, you know, in songs or whatever, like that's when people stop listening, or like the new generation. So like,
Yeah.
is that a thing? Because again, I was talking to Joel today, you know, about,
Ugly Kid Joel. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Hell yeah.
But yeah, like I had mentioned to him, you know, like it's got the double solo at the end, and I had mentioned that kind of tongue in cheek just to make sure it's isolating, so we don't have a big, you know, fan base or whatever. But like that is a thing. Like if there was solos, do you think that's less engaging? Or I guess you're not.
Maybe you're not the guy to speak on it.
I mean, I have a pretty decent attention span.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it makes or breaks it. You know, I saw the Kiss Farewell tour.
Yeah.
And when they had those guitar solos there, I thought it was the best part of the whole show.
Ah, yeah.
So I mean, I would say that a good guitar solo is part of a good rock song, in my opinion.
I think the way you say it there, a good solo, like maybe
Yeah.
like the like kind of boring where it's just doing pentatonic bends and, you know, doesn't
Yeah.
really tell a story. Like a good solo should tell a story or whatever. But yeah, maybe it comes down to the solo, not necessarily, you know, the good.
It really does feel like kids nowadays listen to music that just it doesn't want to rock. You know what I mean? Like you don't have that classic formula of like a 4-piece band going out and just rocking out and singing about, you know, hey, screw this, those guys suck, don't be a sheep, that type of stuff. You know, like how many bands out there that are like big time bands are rock bands? That's the question.
Yeah, like
Holding on still.
Yeah, I can think of what's that Led Zeppelin 2.0 one?
Oh, Greta Van Fleet.
Greta Van Fleet, and they're a fantastic band. Just a little not redundant, but just kind of like it's pretty on the nose to
You know,
Led Zeppelin.
my biggest issue with them, and I'd have to go on the air and talk about this, and as you know, I was sort of known for going on the air and speaking what I actually thought instead of what I was told to say. So I would say this band, it's Led Zeppelin. You're listening to basically a Led Zeppelin cover band. They're just putting their own formula through the system, and that's what you're getting. If that's what you want, that's awesome. And a lot of people want that, and that's great. But for them to come out and say that they don't understand, like they came, from what I was told, they had to come out and be like, "Oh, I don't get why people are comparing us to Led Zeppelin." It's like, boys.
I know, and I think that he even said like, I see myself like influenced by Aerosmith, and I'm like, bro, you sound like Led Zeppelin. I don't know what
Then
to
you're
tell you.
doing it wrong. So that always irked me the wrong way, and I'd get in trouble like once a week for saying that because you're not supposed to talk about the bands you're playing in an honest way.
But with that being said, they are fantastic musicians.
Dude, there's
and,
no-
and,
but
and
they're
good,
huge world-
good songwriters.
They're superstars. They tour the
but
world.
again, like I feel like when they were nominated for the Grammy or when they won it, I don't know if they won it or what, but that wasn't even like televised. I don't believe on the like. So if the rock best of rock album isn't televised, that's nuts.
And not just, I'm going to throw this one right into your wheelhouse.
Okay.
Award shows in general. Award shows in general. And you've seen it even all the way down to the most basic, like Saskatchewan Music Awards. You know, like everyone knows the big bands and everyone knows the bands that should be getting all these awards. And yet they go to like someone where like, really? That's your rock band of the year? That's your metal band? And I bring this up and say you because it's just like with the Oscars and Academy Awards. Like I've spent my entire life, there was one movie that I was this close to going to check out that was an Oscar winner. And the rest of them, I use it as basically a measuring stick to, do I want to go see this movie? If it's won an Oscar, like definitely don't want to go see that one. Because it's so over the top, like stuff that's not for me. Do you find that, like award shows, what's your take on award shows in the film world and your area?
Wow. That was a lot to unpack there.
You got it. I believe in you, Dragon.
I like a good award show, right? Like, I think they have some credibility, right? Obviously, there's public opinion and there's, critique opinion, right?
Yes.
And sometimes you and your boys can go see a movie or listen to an album or something, and you think it's the greatest thing of all time, right? And then, you know, you go online, you do whatever.
Wins a Razzie.
And it's like,
I
yeah,
guess it's not the best."
nominated for worst album of the year, right?
and you're like,
and
"What
no
the
one
hell?"
likes it, but you enjoy it, right?
That's
So
it.
I think they have credibility, right? Should you base your decisions off of it? Well, that's up to you. But at the end of the day, I think what matters most is your opinion.
Yeah.
And I think something for me, especially in the music industry, is, and going back to the solos even, is it good? And is it something that I would never be able to do in a million years? That's, I think, the real kicker. You know, when you listen to it and you're like, I will never be that good at this thing.
That's everything.
I don't
for
even
me,
know how to
though.
do this
So-
thing.
so that's, like,
and that's really what makes
That's
it
a
cool. I'm
highlight.
like,
If
yeah.
you can't do it, that's
Oh, for
impressive.
sure. Yeah. I think it's one of those things where it's a lot of practice and skill, right?
Yeah.
And some people are gifted with it, but it's still a lot of practice and time and effort,
Reps.
right?
Reps,
and
reps,
so
reps.
when I'm watching someone do a guitar solo or like, you know, doing their thing, and I'm like, my mind is blown, and I think that instantly gives it like some base level of credibility.
Hell yeah.
Like, am I wrong?
Yeah.
Does
No,
that-
you're
does that
right
make
on it,
sense?
dude.
Yeah.
You're right
I
on it, yeah.
completely agree.
Whenever you have your mind blown, you don't forget that.
No,
and
exactly.
then you give it the proper, like, holy crap. And I'd like to go a step further. Anytime anyone, and I've been accused of being overly, I guess, complimentary might be the term, but I truly mean it every time. Like I told you yesterday, we did a half hour to kick off the show, and you were absolutely crushing it. And I tell people, like when people, we had the Bamford boys in today doing some special stuff that we're going to be unveiling soon. And they were guys that just started doing this thing, and they crushed it. They came in here and did an incredible job. And I always make sure to let them know, like, you're onto something here. And it's stuff, like just keeping that positive energy going with the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's so good that you do that because, like, again, artists are so like.
That's why,
oh,
because
man,
I
we're
spent
so
my-
hard on
I
ourselves.
spent my whole radio
And-
career being told I was garbage
Yeah.
and that I sucked and everything I was doing was wrong, And it's
Yeah.
just like when you hear that from your bosses, then you're like, well, maybe they're right. And then you talk to people on the street like, man, we love your show and this is why. And it's all the things that the boss says that you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, where do I lie? Where do I stand in all this? So
But yeah, I had so many times throughout my career where I was gonna pack,
Right.
had a game plan. This I am done.
Done.
This is my last.
Yeah.
And then you get a compliment from someone, or
all
hey,
it
I
takes.
really enjoyed this thing, and you're like, okay, I'll go
Yeah,
for
I
another couple
guess.
weeks.
Yeah, and it just makes it feel so good. Before we get any further, I believe it's time to check in with our good friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer,
Ew.
as we have a sleepy edition of the Maggie Cam. Look at that. God, she is so beautiful. For our good friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, Mike and Rochelle, along with their beautiful puppy, Leroy, who just so happens to be dating Maggie, as they are Saskatoon's puppy power couple, along with Kirsten, Shar, and Chris, every one of them at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, there to make sure that your life and your pet's life are reaching max happiness at all times, and they really do it. So be sure to stop by, say hello, and yeah, then you can have a nice, happy, content puppy like old Marge here. She's had a fun day in the studio with a bunch of people coming in and out. So, yes, question.
Can I touch on something that you just said?
Yes.
About the music industry and the arts as a whole?
Yeah.
I think what you said is very relatable almost in a way, because for everyone the journey is different and it's all ups and downs, right? I'm pretty sure anyone who's been in the arts or been in a musician, like a position of that, is like probably had feelings of wanting to quit before.
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone in this room probably has
Yep.
had feelings of maybe I'm just not
It's a
good
very
enough.
safe state.
Maybe
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
And so little things like that actually are massive things,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Someone saying, "Hey man, I like your shit," is massive, and it might just be 2 seconds for them, but it builds you up for sure.
Because totally, the thing is, when you're an artist, like again, this is me, but I'm assuming a lot of people are this way. I never stop thinking about it, like 24/7. You get up in the middle of the night, you're thinking about a song, you're thinking about this. So like, it takes so much from your soul and your spirit. When you are feeling low, you feel like I'm putting this amount of me into it, and I'm not getting enough out of it. So like, yeah, when you get something that reinforces it, that's so much helpful. And again, like I always say, it's not like steps, like normal steps. It kind of, you'll go up, and then you go way down, and then it kind of
Yeah.
goes like that or whatever. So digging yourself out of those holes and
Peaks
getting
and valleys.
getting to the next
Yeah.
level is so important, and you need the encouragement once in a while because we all have good and bad days.
100%.
Naturally, too, I think you want to chase the highs, right?
Yeah.
When you're up here, you know, you can be here mentally, but down here physically, right? But you're always wanting to try to be better and get back up there, right? And for some people, that's as simple as just keeping that memory in their head going of when the last time they felt valued in their position, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's such a huge thing for people to continue going and such a huge motivation. It just in the long run, really.
Yeah, and that's why you need to find out like what do you want out of it, whatever art you're getting,
Yeah.
so then you can realize that's what I want to chase after. So again, like with me writing a lot of music lately or whatever, I like when I have nothing and then it's a song and then it's a finished product. So if I like having new songs, just writing more of them, even if it literally is just to be like, hey Gary, check out the song I wrote this week or whatever.
Goosebumping me all day,
But
bro.
yeah,
That's all that happens.
You figure it shouldn't be like, I want to, again, my main goals, I want to play in front of a huge crowd and I want a song that resonates with the whole world. Like those are like my lifetime goals, but it shouldn't be about that. It should be about the smaller goals and victories that you focus on. So just finishing a song or getting to work with someone that you want it to work with or someone that you want it to hear or see your art, those are kind of attainable goals.
Man, I'm learning a lot already here. This is great. We're just getting started.
We knew it.
This is
Yeah.
fantastic. Kate, I want to hear more. I want to hear more about your hometown rock interview with Ugly Kid Joel over at Rock 102.
So, yeah, because you helped facilitate this,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
my
Aaron
dude.
had called
Yeah.
Joel, and we set it up for this, lunchtime today. Aaron got home from work, and we quickly slogged back some food, and then,
head on in.
did the interview. But
And that's something. And just so you know, to pull back the curtain a bit, getting like bands inside the studio and getting like into the station, it's a big thing for him to do. So every time he does that, it's him saying, hey, just so you know, I'm
Yeah.
going to bat for you guys because
Yeah.
this doesn't
Oh.
normally happen. So I love how you guys always appreciate it
And
like that too, because a lot of people
Oh,
won't.
and we must have said thank you like 10
course.
times, and
Yeah.
and Aaron will never stop being appreciative for
Yeah,
that because
and that's what I mean.
No one has to do any of this for us. Generally you have to work for what you got.
And he works
and-
hard on that, man. Ugly Kid Joel does so much work with that hometown rock thing. And as a guy who was in that position, it's so hard to finesse around all the bosses and all the red
Yeah.
tape. So every time I see him do stuff like this, I'm like, keep
and
going,
like,
keep
yeah,
going.
because we had talked about the song, and because it is like inspired by Ozzy Osbourne, there is a place for it on mainstream radio.
Yeah,
And
for
it's not
sure.
like full blown track 10 of Untimely Demise, where it's full blown death metal and devoid
say
of all
full
melodies
speed
and
metal,
hooks, but-
perhaps?
which is great. But yeah, I understand that can't be on Rock 102.
And you've always been good, like all the way back to when I first tried starting to do all this stuff. You're like, hey, I totally understand, like these ones probably aren't like made for this, but there's this one
Yeah,
that might have
that
a spot,
could
and then we
work, yeah.
start there, and then you work your way into
But
it.
it's cool. And then, I mentioned about like it's accessible, but we still do have the minute double solo at the end
Hell
just to
yeah,
make it
dude.
Raven Witch.
Yep.
And that's the music we like. And it's a trade-off that, I'd rather have less people listen to it. And the people that hear it, they're like, "Oh, I love
Really
that.
enjoy
That
it.
hits home for me. This
Yeah.
is my type of music." But yeah, getting on Rock 102 in high school, that was like an ultimate goal. Would did anything. I watched that movie, like That Thing You Do with Tom Hanks or whatever.
Doing that thing you do. You're breaking
My heart into a million pieces.
just like you often do.
Can we get autotune next time when we do that? Just so we can
Dude,
set it up.
I
that'd
have
be
no
great.
idea why that song is. I've only seen the movie, I think, once in my life, but
It's
I
a
fell in
good
love with the
song, it's a
song.
good
I guess,
song.
how many times do you think they played the song in the movie? That's probably why.
Yeah,
They really
yeah,
bang
exactly.
it home. Ask the movie expert. How many? Quick.
I
Estimate a guess.
don't know. Probably, it's got to be like, oh man, how many times the Wonders?
I'd
eh?
say the
Let's
one,
see.
the
The
Oneaters.
Oneaters.
The Oneaters.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 40. I'm going 40.
I was gonna say 30.
72.
Nice.
Yeah, I
was
like
like,
Because
that, yeah.
because
yeah,
every time, every scene,
literally.
Yeah,
seems like transitions.
Even getting it going, yeah.
Yeah, open
Oh.
and every plot point. Every line of dialogue. Let's just throw it in.
Yeah.
Count how many lines of dialogue the film had, and then see how many lines were said in the song, and then divide that number.
That's a great training exercise.
Of course, you
Yeah.
turn it into an
Math.
equation.
Yeah, you have
math,
to. It's like a
Come on,
percentage
bro.
thing.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
talk
I
about it in
ain't
our
got no
show later.
math.
It's gonna
What's
be
the
a thing.
standard deviation on that?
Yeah. It's length times width in terms of song value. It's really it's complicated.
Now, if we just
It's,
look at this graph here, some of my
yeah.
etchings.
I'm so happy you asked.
Excuse me,
LB, pull up the chart I made yesterday.
excuse
Can you
me, Sir
put it
Buzz
up there?
Killington.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh, I love that. So yeah, you guys are gonna be on there. You're doing it. You're living.
But yeah, so did that. It was a great interview or whatever. And
He's the
yeah,
best. I just
we-
love him
getting
so much.
all this practice, being on your show and stuff. Though, like I know back in the day, when we'd be doing, you would call, hey, I'm gonna play a song. Do you want to be on it or whatever?
Oh, that was
And I
so
remember
good.
some of those first few days, like I get home, and then like have like a Pilsner or Coors Light to kind of like loosen up, and then like my palms would be sweaty, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
and then usually you'd be like, hey, how's it going? And the first thing, just because my go-to, but when I'm nervous, is comedy or like humor, so I just immediately start trying to tell jokes, and you're like, bro, we're not even on yet.
Get them all out early.
You're like 4 Pilsners in. What's the deal with airplane
yeah.
food?
What's that on The Office when the girl would put the phone call through? She'd tell Michael Scott, like, all right, phone call on this one. Then he'd go on and do something
Yeah.
super stupid, and she wouldn't put it through until he'd do that,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
go, and then put
So
it
that's
through.
what you were doing to me.
Yeah, just get those bad ones out of the way quick, and then we're good. Oh, that's fun. I love seeing the local music scene being supported.
Oh,
I
it's-
love it so much.
Yeah, again, one little drop because last week I missed a couple shows because I was out in the sun and kind of not feeling too great from work or whatever, so I didn't, and these were weekday shows, but a couple of buddies' bands from Winnipeg were in, and they actually played Buds last Wednesday. So Inhumed, they're like a Winnipeg death metal, but the other
Yes.
one I was thinking about, because I was going to talk on our All Out of Angst podcast, Suburban Hypocrites, we had played, they're a Winnipeg band, and they're that like kind of 90s punk, but yeah, they were here too, so that's a band maybe we could look into and start,
Not only that, Lutheran played, our buddy Grandma, Grandma was in this studio, the great
Oh,
Graham
sick.
Templeman, and he sat down right where we're sitting, and it was supposed to be like a quick little hang. I was just going to do a cut-in for your show, and it turned into like a 4-hour story time with Uncle Grandma. Like it was
Cool.
incredible.
Oh, yeah, he'd
and
be
at
a
the
great
end of
guest,
it, I
yeah.
told him, I was like, dude, just so you know, like we'll play part of this on your show, but you're going to have your own show. Like he's going to have, just like the All That
yeah,
Angst podcast,
yeah.
it's going to be story time with Uncle
To-
Grandma.
oh, totally.
And he tells the most incredible stories, and he's actually coming over Thursday night. We're going to record some more.
Cool.
And we're going to launch that off.
Sweet.
But he plays in Lutheran. He was there,
Yeah.
and Fake Paradise.
And
Jason Oshik, those dudes,
Cool.
I love those dudes. So
And-
it's crazy. We knew all the people
yeah,
playing
and,
at Buzz.
and Battle X played the next night.
Did you see
Yeah.
Tristan the Destroyer?
Oh yeah, they did their tug of war, and he was doing his whole
Did you
thing.
see him in studio? We got him in
No?
studio to kick off the
What?
show. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I thought he would have told you. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Apparently,
It was wild how it happened too, because we were trying to set up our Zoom for our good friend out in Australia, author Adrian Blarsman, aka Coach Number One. And as we were doing that, Coach Mazer, Coach Number Two, was sending me stuff through the Messenger thing, and I never check Messenger. I try to stay off all this stuff. So there was a message from Tristan being like, hey, I know we talked about doing the show, and then it hit me because we talked about like getting guys in here and promoting stuff. So luckily it was like that, it was day of, and I was like, dude, come by, I don't care what we got, we'll clear it all out, you kick off the show, and we'll go. So he came in here, did the first like 5 minutes.
That's
got us all
great.
up. He brought a
Yeah,
Battlestar, or
Battle-
Battlestar
yeah.
Galactica, bought a Battle X shirt for me. And so I was
Nice.
wearing that, and we got everyone pumped up for the show, and then he went in and they just killed it. The
Oh yeah,
pictures were
yeah,
just
it was a
looked
great
wild.
show. Yeah,
Yeah.
from all the video I saw. But yeah, that's great. Like
Yeah.
what
So
a
he made his
week.
debut. The Tristan the
yeah.
Destroyer was on the show.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a week of music. Like that's awesome.
It's very cool.
It's good to see that coming back.
The support, yeah, like that. Like I heard that Wednesday night at Bud's, like Grandma was saying, that's gonna be like a banger of a deal because like it's bringing like heavy music back to the
Yeah,
forefront a
it's
little
a
bit, which
good
is
idea.
cool.
I like
Yeah.
the $5. It's a $5, 5 bands, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
I believe that's right. Don't
'cause
quote me,
that's,
but I'm
that's
pretty
what
sure.
you need to do for the weekday shows. Don't be doing the $40,
Yeah.
covers.
And it's great for the bands too because you get reps. It's all about getting up there and getting.
Yeah, you know what? Because say even you only get, I'm just being like very conservative, but say you get like 10 or 20 customers, which is, you'd get more than that. But with the 5 bands there, you're still playing to all, a bunch of people, even with the bands itself. And sometimes that's a good way to start out. If it's one of your first shows, is just playing in front of the bands that are playing with you, and you got to be happy with that. And then, you know, there'll be nights where it fills up and it's awesome. But yeah,
I've been watching a lot of podcasts lately, and I've said that before. But one thing that every single one of these comedians that do the shows, be it like the Joe Rogan guys, the Kill Tony's guys, whatever it is, whatever you're watching, they all say, if you don't get out there and bomb, you will never truly become the best version of yourself.
It's
because
so
you
true.
don't know how to, you know, combat adversity and how to rise up through whatever it is you got to get through to say, all right, I'm here now. Then keep going because you know what works and you know what doesn't.
And
reps.
Yeah, and sometimes you just catastrophize in your mind what the worst thing that could possibly happen, whether it be on stage or with your art or whatever, and you just in your mind you build it up, and then something like one of the worst kind of things happens on stage, and you get through it, and you're like, you know what, that wasn't that bad. It is what it is. You know, like you break a string, something happens with the patch chord, you forget lyrics, you know, drummer goes into the wrong thing or whatever. You end up making it through it. Even if, like, a worst case scenario, you have to stop the song and start over, you still, it's not like life's over.
You use the perfect example, Adele.
Yes.
Adele at that big ceremony thing. She went to start and she's like, hold on, we got to redo this.
Yeah, I got to do this right. And then she nailed it. Yeah. So the best in the world can do it. Yeah.
Do you find that on movie sets at all there, Dragon? Do you ever find that actors, you know, learn a lot from making mistakes, or they get yelled at?
No, yeah. I think something that even like fear can dissuade you from doing anything, really.
Oh, yeah.
But once you finally start doing it and that fear happens and presents itself, just like you said, it's kind of like a learning experience, right? You're like, okay, well, if I didn't have this opportunity and let fear get the best of me, I would have never had to do this or gotten the chance,
built
right?
a content creation studio.
And
Yeah,
I feel that way with any job I've taken in my life that I've been nervous to do, and I've always had a positive experience, even though I was scared to do it. And any performance I've ever done, it's night and day, really. What fear and just accepting it can do for like you and your career and just your life itself, right? Because otherwise, if you're living in your shadow, right, it's just not fun.
And it's
gets
so empowering.
old.
It's empowering when you make it through that fear, and then you're like, oh man, I beat that, and you start beating your chest.
Every single time I MC an event, be it like to 10 or 20 people or 3,000 or 4,000, no matter what the size is, up until the second I say the first words on the microphone, I shake in my head. Like I can't do anything. And it's like you just all you have to do is just get to the mic, just get to the spot. And then once you start going, then it's like, okay, I know.
You're so right. Like, again, I've always been nervous for every show I've ever played in my life.
They say that's healthy, by the way.
Yeah, like you have to go to the washroom a bunch of times. My palms get super sweaty. And like you say, once you ring that first couple chords, and once you kind of fall into your like zone, and you're like, okay, I'm doing it, we've practiced this, ad nauseum, we got this. Then you're like, okay, I'm comfortable, and then you can start actually enjoying it. Where like I've a few times in the last years, I've actually lived in the moment on stage, and it's been so fun because that's been a goal of mine, to get to the point where I'm not just nervous and only thinking about what I could screw up, but when you're playing and you're not worried about anything, and you're kind of like looking at people and you're actually in the moment, that's like the best.
As we hang out on a Tuesday here on your show, live Monday to Friday on YouTube. Check that out. We got a bunch of awesome shows. Pulse Power with Aiden, blowing up. It comes out every Monday. If you're into getting in shape at all, I highly suggest giving it a go. Lots of stretching, lots of working out. We talked about a couple times now about getting some feedback from listeners, and believe it or not, we actually got one here for you.
Okay,
and I'm very excited because it involves your guitar. So I'm
we
just
got
going
her
to read it to
here.
you, and we'll get into it. So this is from John in Saskatoon. John says, "Hey guys, love the show!" All caps and exclamation points. Very excited. Well done. He writes like me. All my texts are always like that.
I only use exclamation points.
If you're going to be excited, you better show it. So that's very well done. Can you guys get Matt to give a quick lesson on how to sweep the arpeggios? Continues, I've been trying to learn guitar now, and my teacher always talks about sweeping the arpeggios, and I was wondering if Matt had any tips or if he could possibly show us.
I don't know, but I could give it a shot.
I love this because you got a guitar right here. If only he had a guitar.
Yeah,
Oh, wait a minute. He does have a guitar. Look at that. I love, when it comes to guitar moves, I think sweeping the arpeggio is one of my favorite things. I don't know what it means or what it does, but I love saying it. And every time I say it, going back to the days of living with our sweet, beautiful Noel, the great Noel Wilcox, he would sweep the arpeggios whenever I would say it, and it always sounded so good. Look at that. Just a little shredded.
Okay, so yeah, basically, I've got.
You can lift it up, lift the mic up. Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
look at this.
There you go.
Oh no. If we're doing an E, C, G, and D, that's kind of like go-to kind of standard, progression or whatever.
Hell yeah.
Then I'll find the outlines of, so for E, then we got our C, G, and D. And then the motion, I kind of do like stirring the pot. It's kind of like that. That's
Ooh.
what I like doing for a sweep pick. And
Oh.
see, it's kind of like
So you're hitting all the chords up and down, or all the strings.
yeah. But yeah, so that's the standard.
This is so cool.
But then I'll do more than just that, rather, because sweeping, if you're just doing that, that's not enough. So again, I like doing 3 octave runs, where
course.
again, for my E, the 2nd octave, 3rd octave, and then for our C, G, and D. So now you can kind of go in between, like maybe you'll start with the E, a big bend,
Yes.
and then do a sweep. For the C, now for our G, and then
Beautiful.
end with another. So that's kind of, basically you just put together kind of a bunch of licks or whatever.
Man.
But I'd like to, if we're going to be doing lesson type things, I want to just keep going on this E,
Yes.
C, G, and D progression, and then I'll kind of go over like,
Absolutely.
E, C, G, D.
And to quote Cassandra from Wayne's World, and a whammy bar. Zang. That was dude.
Incredible.
So how many reps do you think it would take to learn to be able to sweep an arpeggio like that?
Well, again, I always say, and I think I got this from Alexei Leho, but he always said, start slow. Like, because everyone just wants to, right out of the gate, and which is good, but you're usually, and even me, if we break down that video, I'm flubbing notes, I'm slopping notes, you're always.
You're also playing live in front of a bunch of cameras.
But yeah, and there's no backing tracks, which we gotta get on that. But basically, you start slow with the metronome, so just bring that metronome all the way down, be able to count it out, 1 E and 2 E and B D D D D D, and then just what I'll do is a lot of times I won't even worry about doing the fingering with my left hand, but I'll just worry on that. Like just going up and down the strings, making
Just
that
to
little
learn
like
that.
stirring that
Yeah.
pot like I like to do. But start slow and just build up. I would say, I don't know, 8 months you probably get pretty decent at it. That's just a guess.
Yeah, but that's a
I don't
very
know.
generous.
It took me about 25 years to get where I'm at.
That's what
so
I'm
I don't
saying.
know.
When you actually sit and hang out or live with a guitarist, like living with Noel was one of the funnest times of my life because there was always music in the house. He was just always strumming, always doing different things.
Oh,
and if
and-
he wasn't, we'd have the instructional videos
Yeah.
on, and
Oh,
we'd be
yeah.
watching those. And just to be around that, you don't even know that you're taking in all this information. You know, like I wouldn't know anything about music probably if it wasn't for that.
But yeah, you know so much, not only because of your, you know, working in a radio station, but yeah, just
Yeah.
like always having musicians around you,
That's-
talking music. So,
that's
you
it.
know, you hear things like harmonies or, you know, this and that. You just understand kind of the construction of it because you've been around it so much.
Just on the very base level, because I'll never go out and say I'm a musician, but I'm such a fan of it, and I'm such a fan of the art form, where I could watch you do lessons all day like that. That's so cool. Like we were bobbing our heads like, hey, here we go.
Yeah.
You know,
But
it's
yeah,
just cool to be
we're,
around.
we're gonna get to where I want it to be actually like the way I'm doing it at home.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of fun, just like you have it sitting there. Then if we need to bring it up,
It's so cool. And
Again,
to have
yeah.
someone like John in Saskatoon asking a question
Oh,
about it just gives
it's
us a
just
natural
picking
road
up the
into
momentum.
it. Yeah,
But
so
yeah,
cool.
again, I've always been one of those guys because people will be like, "Oh, you play guitar, you know, play me something," or you're a singer, sing me something. And I'm
Yeah.
always like, I'm a guy. I like to do my warm up, which usually takes about an hour.
You did
know?
do that right when you got here. You started doing
But yeah,
just
again,
all your things.
to me, that's not enough. Like, and even I would like to be warming up right until I do it. Where like just picking up the guitar and doing that.
You're almost
it-
cooled down again.
Well, it's just again that anxiety's coming that shouldn't be there. But like when I'm playing a show, I just strap on the guitar and I just like walk around the bar, you know, sweet picking. So like you've been doing that for 2 hours. By the time you get on stage, it's second nature. But there's always that first, whether you're in a guitar store, because for whatever reason, playing in the guitar store, you automatically suck. That's just a rule.
It's always the "can I help you" riff.
Yeah, well, you want to do that, but you're just like,
You fall.
kind of like Steve Vai, you know, when he gets taken
you
out by
imagine?
Ralph Macchio. He's just like, yeah. And then
Man.
you got the devil.
Oh, and that's another one of the greatest solos that Noel would always practice was
Oh,
Ralph Macchio's solo. And
and
what's
he
the
will-
movie? What's the movie called?
Crossroads.
Of course, and it's the Crossroads solo, yeah.
'Cause
And
didn't-
he would always try to hit the final note until he found out that it wasn't on one guitar.
No.
It was manufactured, so he
yeah.
was chasing the dragon. You're never going to get it.
Oh man, because he will practice that till the day he dies. Like that's one of
So
his
good.
go-tos. And
Yeah.
he's great at it. He's great
The
at it.
Karate Kid just shredding out there.
Oh, but yeah, like I just another thing too. I just gotta see if I can do this. You know.
Oh, he's going to do jump kick. He's going to do jump kick.
No.
Oh.
When like he wins or whatever, and then you know like the entourage kind of surrounds him and start dancing. That one chick's kind of like peacocking around his head. I just remember that being. Yeah, pretty.
I'm so great. Man, how much courage did it take to do that? I feel like
Oh,
you just
yeah.
overcame a fear there.
No, you know what?
No.
That's fine. Like making an ass of myself, I'm fine with that. It's when I don't want to make an ass of myself that I don't
Well,
like
I'm
that.
trying not to.
Speaking of ass, what's your hourly?
What's that?
What's your hourly?
For lessons?
For that.
Oh, to learn how to do that?
Yeah, to learn how to do that.
Like dancing or guitar?
Dancing specifically. Really, the dancing.
Because if there's one thing in life, that I'm
Serious, you're like,
absolutely
one second.
horrible at, it's dancing. So I don't know. What would probably just my going job rate? I don't know. Like,
I was gonna say a handshake and a high five, man.
A handshake and a high five.
Yeah.
Let's do.
Do you want to go strutting? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I feel like you.
Well,
look pretty
I
good
think
doing
what
the
we
peacock.
should do.
Yeah.
I'd
is-
like to see Dragon do a little peacocking right now.
I think.
Well, we call that the truffle shuffle in the industry, but I think what we need is 2 or 3 weeks of practice, and then we can like make this a
choreographed
stage. Yeah.
dance.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the key, the hands need
Sure.
to be like this. Once
Okay.
once you, and then it's just about those shoulders around. Honestly, Aaron's better at
I was
it.
gonna say you better slow down. I think this is gonna turn into a little bit of foreplay for you two if he keeps dancing like that. I'm hearing some hot laughter over there.
She doesn't like my dancing.
Oh, in case
Well,
you
I
wonder that
feel-
voice is
yeah,
that.
on another-
That's lovely wife
Yeah,
Erin, who's
on
in the
another
live
note
studio
though, like I
audience.
feel like because again I'm a dude, I have absolutely no rhythm when it comes to dancing, and Erin just wants. She's like, you gotta move your hips, you gotta move your hips, and like
Yeah.
we did like
trying.
tutorials, and then I feel like then I leaned into moving the hips too hard, but she's like, no, that's too much.
Overselling.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet Uncle Mike is like a hidden incredible dancer.
Oh yeah,
I bet you
you,
he's a
know
good
he
dancer.
is. You know he is.
There's
Yeah,
something
he
in that
would-
man's hips that just like awaken when the music starts
He's
playing.
always
yeah.
Yeah.
Shakira
I-
for
Yeah,
sure,
for
24/7.
Oh, true.
Yeah. I had a funny thought about the "Can I help you" riff, just to get back to that. Could you imagine if you sat down into, you go to your local music store and you sit down and like, okay, I'm going to impress everybody here with a sick "Can I help you" riff, and then you mess it up, and then you get a guy coming over and just saying something like, I think I might have heard a really bad rendition of the "Can I Help You" riff. Was that what you're looking for? Like, would that be like the worst moment ever in a music store?
I don't know, but you've been making lots of these videos lately. Can we do that? Can we make that a
We
video?
could.
Like, that would be pretty fun.
I could walk in there and you could teach me like a quick 2-second lesson right before we go in,
Yeah,
and
and
I could
then
just
specifically mess it
we
up.
can see if I
Yeah.
can actually get some help, or if I just get shooed out the door. That'd be good. I've been shooed out before.
Have you?
Yeah, it's not the best feeling when you're.
But have you been shooed out of a porn store?
No.
I have.
Prove it. Oh, you did tell the story.
Yeah, remember?
You know,
Yeah. Remember, me and my buddy Shipley were picked up by the scruffs of our necks, and he
poor Merv
took
was in the car.
took the VHS and threw it down and slammed it in front of us, and then told us to get the hell out of here.
Who would have thought you can't walk into a porn shop with a camera?
You live, you learn.
What's that? Alanis Morissette?
You know it is.
Gee, she has so many hits, dude. I want to say Jagged Little Pill, like song for song, probably has the most amount of hits on one album. For an artist,
Absolutely.
eh? Like every song we know is from that one album.
I think there's maybe one or two songs. 'Cause I listened to that album
So
a
good.
few weeks ago. There's maybe one or two that I didn't think was like
yeah.
a total hit.
Yeah,
every one of
it's
them.
crazy. That's a total tangent there, but still. What are you listening to right now? I know you mentioned earlier you got some Skinner going on. What goes on Dragon's playlist? Are you gonna pull it out? Oh, look at him
Nice.
go! He's
Pull it
got
up.
a playlist.
Okay.
There we go.
Welcome
Welcome to Playlist with
I'll see,
Dragon.
I usually my music change tastes
Your
cha-
taste
my
changes?
taste changes. There we go. Got
That's
it
good.
out there.
That's very healthy, by the way.
Okay, well, right now the last song I listened to was "Tuesday's Gone," Leonard
Of course
Skinner.
it was. How many times did you listen to that song in the last?
I
2
probably
weeks?
listened to it like 3 times a day because it's just
Crazy.
I just
It
like
is a
get in my
banger, dude.
car.
It's a banger of
you
a
know,
song.
you know what? It's a long song too. It's
7.5.
7.5 minutes, so I can get here from my house in that time. So really,
How do
I
they
get
do-
my car on, I drive here, and the song ends as I pull up, and it's like, and I know it takes me one sweet child of mine to get to my other job, and it's like, it's just this weird theory that I have.
when people use different measurements for things like that.
Yeah.
Like you live, like you said, you live at Tuesday's Gone Away from Me, or
Right.
there's been times where we were trying to get a guy, and this is a little bit off the wall, but might as well just say because I think it's so funny. A guy tried to for a week use nothing but measurements in wiener form. So he'd be like, yeah, I don't know, it's probably about, I'd say like 80 wieners away. And then he would go into like whose wiener it was and the whole 9
Yeah.
yards. Like
Well, yeah, there's a lot of variables there.
Yeah, it's really funny when guys use different measurements in places where they're not supposed to be used, is the point.
So, what year did you do this? Sorry.
It wasn't me, it was a buddy, a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Trust
sure,
me.
sure.
If it was me, you'd be about 20 Gary wieners away from me right now. Just so you know. Very,
That's
very-
so unsettling,
yeah,
and the mental
very
picture
small.
I got of like a
Very
domino train of that, just like.
Hey, family show, here we go.
Should
Okay.
I throw what I have on my most recent?
Well, hold on. I
Yeah.
want to hear a dragon here because he's got something going.
Okay, Green Day, Basket
Nice.
Case.
Basket case.
I love Green Day. I've heard mixed things of new Green Day, but I'm gonna be honest. Like Dilemma, I came out. When did that come out?
I have no
October,
Dookie?
maybe?
Dookie? Did the album Dookie? Basket
No,
Case?
he's talking about Dilemma.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
like
an
the new
album. I don't
one.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't even know
The
what
new
that
one.
is.
Exactly. For me, it was those first two, Dookie, and then what was the one after Dookie? It's got the weird cover on Insomniac.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. Never gets talked about because Dookie was such a world changer, but Insomniac, the follow-up album by Green Day, it's one of the best punk
Yeah.
albums you'll ever hear. It's so good.
Yeah, I like
No
a
one
good
talks about
Green Day. Next up, we have Jeremy by Pearl Jam.
Right?
Okay,
Oh,
here
I
this is
love that song.
grungy.
That's a good
All
song, you know.
right, yeah.
I know it takes me 2 Jeremys and 1 American Pie Don McLean song to get to my school. That's how I know that one.
So you double down on the Jeremy when you're driving?
It's like a sandwich, you know.
Okay.
You know,
Nice. Yeah.
if you have a good middle and you have some good bread, that doesn't make any sense actually. That wasn't
Yeah,
going
it's a
anywhere.
sandwich.
It's a
Making it-
sandwich,
Jeremy,
you know.
Jeremy's the bread, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
then
it's the
Jeremy,
bread,
other one,
yeah.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don McLean's American Pie. Of course.
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
actually tell you. That'd be about
It's a pie
5.5 minute,
Pie.
8, 12, and then 5.5. So that'd be damn near 18 minutes or so, give or take. 19?
5:16
Yeah, 5:16
plus
plus
whatever.
2,
So
and then
10:30
yeah,
and
give
yeah.
or take. Not that it matters.
Not that it matters.
That's very exciting. I enjoy this very much.
Yeah.
Reading playlists on the show.
What else we got? Some Glorious Sons,
Yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Which song?
Under the Bridge,
Nice.
Since You've Been Gone Rainbow. That's a fun one. I like that one.
Interesting.
I put that one in my movie, actually.
Of course you did.
I did, actually.
That was a
it
nice
was
humble
so good.
brag too, by the way. Just made a movie.
Leader of Men, Nickelback.
Oh,
got that
I'm
one.
not leader of man.
Won't Get
Love that
Fooled
song.
Again, The Who.
Nice.
Oh, that's a banger.
Black Buffalo, One Bad Son.
Yeah,
You know I love me with some One
OBS.
Bad Son.
Shout out to the One Bad Podcast. Every Friday, drop an episode, I believe 9 or 10 this week.
Followed by immediately I Come Alive by One Bad Son.
That's them.
Fortunate Son.
Yeah.
Money Talks. That's a great AC/DC song in my
That's
opinion.
Bangers in there, dude.
And we'll end that off with Shine, Collective Soul.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah. And
You'll be happy to
it's
know.
your turn now. You can go.
Local radio stations love to play all those songs you got.
Yeah.
You're a happy listener. I like that.
Mine's pretty.
Over your way, sir, and then we'll do mine, and then
Yeah, mine.
that'll
I'll
be
just
it.
quickly rip through this.
You don't gotta
so,
go quick. Take your time.
So
You
it's
still
not
got, like, 10
songs.
minutes.
I usually go by albums because I'm a little bit older. But so I'm just gonna list them. AFI. I've got
yeah.
Megadeth, Stevie Nicks, Misfits, Brandy Carlisle, and the
Ooh.
Descendants. That's what I got on my searched most
I
recently.
love that. I'm gonna have a look. Let's see what I got here.
Yeah.
As
What do you listen to your music on?
every Tuesday.
Usually I have it on this and then I Bluetooth it. I'll pipe it through like either a stereo or if I'm at work, I'll pipe it through, like the Bobcat or
Sure.
whatever truck I'm in.
That's so sweet.
I have a really crappy Bluetooth transmitter in my car that every time I hit a little bit of a bump or even make a right-hand turn too right-handy, it comes out and all of a sudden it's just radio static. And sometimes I'll drive down like 8th Street and I'll pick up like random Ukrainian channels or stuff like that. And like, it'll be so weird. And I love it. And I love every second of it.
I would not change a thing.
Yeah. My Spotify premium has gotten a long way.
It goes great with your rear view mirror that fell off the window.
Oh yeah. I know.
This guy's got one hell of a Jimmy out there.
I went through a drive-through.
Jimmy.
Drive through 2 days ago, and the lady just stared at my dangling rear view mirror from my dashboard that
What
had
is
fallen off.
wrong with this guy?
I was like, yeah, I'll get it fixed at some
I
point.
want to give a quick, big shout out again to our friends over at Sound Hearing Impressions. Cassandra and the team made these customized earpieces, and you guys, I'm telling you, it's like it's not even there.
Because I was
to the
having
point where I
trouble
forget.
last week.
So we might have to put another order in with the incredible team over there. They actually watch the show and they love it. So hello to them again. We love you guys, and we maybe send some more people your way. So be ready for that. Every Tuesday, a guy who's going to be on our Twitch stream, the guy who also built this entire set from Deneb Finishing. He was the former owner of 12 World Records with Twin Galaxies, and then Twin Galaxies got sketchy because everyone started using Skynet to doctor their games, and then like, well, nothing's official anymore. So then it moved over to speedrun.com, and he's going to be coming in and do that. But every Tuesday we play our NES Open, and we listen to 4 albums, and this is the whole hangout. Once the last song plays, then we're done. It's Farewell to Kings by Rush.
Nice.
It's a full Rush night because he's the guy who got me into Rush. Okay. And so we go Farewell to Kings into 2112, again,
Nice.
full album.
Yeah.
And then into Fly By Night, and then into Signals. And it's the greatest,
Wow.
It's all the different, almost genres of Rush. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they go through like their Coke phase in the 80s, and then they got the 70s stuff. Like it's just so cool
They
how
had
one
their-
band could have 4 totally different sounding albums.
Oh, totally. I always like aesthetically the kimono era phase.
Yes.
That was pretty good.
So good. So good. And then if I just look at playlists here, I used to see, when I was at CFCR, I would do entire CFCR shows. And I will say this, okay, so we had a show, and it was on a Saturday night. We took over the punk show, I believe it was. And yeah, so it's TV Party Tonight.
Yeah.
And if you listen to CFCR, shout out to all of our friends at CFCR. We love you. Go get memberships. Go support the last real
Great
radio
radio
station.
station.
So good. To Jay and Neil and the whole team over there, we love you guys. Love what you're doing. Keep up the great work. But this was the rundown that my buddy Johnny Sherman and I did. He co-hosted with me. And just listen to this. It was a 2-hour show. Listen to this rundown, okay? And this will be our final playlist of the day. So since it was TV Party Tonight, we
Yeah.
thought it'd be a good homage to the team to do a TV Party Tonight song by Black Flag. So
Yeah,
we kicked
yeah.
it off with that. Went into Drunk on a Bike.
Oh,
by
I was listening to
SNFU.
SNFU today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why that wasn't on there. I was listening to SNFU.
I know you're a big fan.
Yeah.
Into Drugged and Driving by Day Grow
Nice.
Abortions. Into Blind by Face to Face. Is this like already? It's the greatest radio show of all time, right?
It sounds amazing.
And then you're not going to know any of these, by the way. That's so unfortunate. You're just going to have to be like, oh, those sound like cool songs or bands.
And I like how like Face to Face is one of my favorite bands.
So good.
And I would just know it, like that's probably track 3 or something. But
Yeah.
I'm like I can't picture the song right now because I don't remember.
Dude, I don't even know albums except for Big Choice because I had that in Slave Lake and I listened to it every day. My walk to work in Slave Lake, Alberta was I think 8 songs off of Big Choice.
Oh, that's
Which was good, so I do it there,
that's how
man.
you live.
Yep. 9mm in a 3-piece suit, Catch 22.
Yep.
Very good. I've Won by 88 Fingers Louie.
Okay.
Last Believer by Good Riddance.
Oh, yes.
Say Anything by the Bouncing Souls. We got some Smalls on because we had to get some of that CanCon in there. Yeah, Weird Beard, Mad Caddies, I Want to Conquer the World.
Oh, first Bad Religion song or second Bad Religion song on Timely Demise covered.
So good. Punk Rock 101, Diesel Boy. Young Crazed Peeling by the Distillers. Perfect World by Guttermouth. You ever hear that?
Oh, yeah.
And if you're following along at home, every single one of these songs can never be played on an actual radio station. That's the beauty of CFCR, and is more specifically the TV Party Tonight. We were trying to take songs that we thought would never ever get played on the radio.
I feel like
That's what we
Guttermouth
did.
kind of got banned from.
Oh, yeah.
Because I saw them when I was like.
They got kicked out of here. They got banned from Canada in Saskatoon.
I was 15 years old at Louis,
Yeah.
and he pulled down his pants, and I remembered like thinking that's not really right or whatever. And yeah, then of course
That was it.
Saskatoon got.
Turns
pissed
out it
off.
wasn't.
And really, it was an all ages show. He probably shouldn't have been doing
Well,
that.
dude,
but-
and again, the band's name is Guttermouth.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they're clean.
No.
Like they're Guttermouth. Life of the Party, Planet Smashers, got some ska going.
Nice.
Back to the Motor League
Oh.
by the great Propagandy.
What you
It was
guys aren't
incredible.
seeing right now, because I can see the phone, is Gary skipped over 7 Taylor Swift songs in between all these, and
I listen to
don't
those
know
when these
what
ones are
you're trying
playing.
to hide,
I
but
get my Taylor fix there. Journey to the End of the Earth by Rancid.
Yep.
To the end, journey to the end. Answers, Goldfinger. Everyone sleeps on Goldfinger. Bring back Goldfinger. Yeah, all of them have it.
Oh yeah.
I was going to
I
sing
was
along
gonna
with
start
you,
singing,
but
and then I'm like,
there's
I was
so
like,
many
I don't want to
F-bombs.
cut out all those F-bombs.
Speaking of F-bombs, F Authority by Pennywise.
Yep.
Love that one. Spicy McHaggis Jig by the Dropkick Murphys. Against All Authority, What the F You Expect. We got some Belvedere in there. Gob, Liza and Louise by No Effects.
Cool.
They played on
Belvedere's
the
coming
radio.
here, aren't they? Because I don't. You got to talk to my buddy Derek, who from Me the Guts, but he's putting on a Pups for or Punk for Pups concert, and I think Belvedere's coming for that.
Like the Belvedere.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bands.
I'll keep you updated on.
Oh
that.
my God, I love that. Sorry, I got a little flustered. No, I've always wanted to see them. Like I've seen like they've done like out of nowhere like pop-up shows.
Yeah.
In weird places, but I didn't know they were like going.
Yeah, I remember back probably 20 years ago now, there was like what was that? It was like a clothing company, like but either way, they had a compilation CD, this clothing company, and Belvedere was on it, and I remember really liking that song. Something Doctor, but I'll never remember.
Doc Martin. It's the Doc Martin playlist.
No.
They have like
Board
they're
Doctors?
So good.
No.
That might be. We could spend all day trying to think of it. The point is, Belvedere is freaking incredible, and if they're coming here, we're going.
I love it.
Dragon, final thoughts before we get to the piano event? You got any tricks up your sleeves today?
Well, I think I'm going to do a play on some of the stuff I was doing today.
God.
Oh, yeah, I have an idea.
Okay.
Completely out of topic though.
Okay.
I don't know why. Okay, so my hand touched your leg
Yeah,
on
that was
accident,
nice.
right?
I enjoyed that.
I know, right? Right, the fan fiction, right? But there was like static electricity. I don't know if you felt that, right? And
I always feel static electricity
and
when
so
you're around.
my idea is, and this is completely off topic, we should do a whole show where you're connected to like one of those like shock thingies,
I have two.
and
of those.
we should, like-
Dr. Hose? Or does it have to be one that like actually shocks?
like the one that shocks you.
Like hard.
Yeah.
Like does someone have the button pushing it?
Yeah,
Can you do that?
sure,
okay.
sure.
I have one. Of those.
I actually kind of like
I
this
think that'd be
idea.
fun.
Yeah,
Like, what, think of all the stuff we could do with Gary. Like, I don't know. Every time he uses his crutch, we could do something like that, or
I don't
just
like where this is going.
just
Yeah.
like fun things.
Doesn't sound
what do you
very
think?
fun. I'll do it if you wear
Then
one
it's-
paddle and I'll wear one.
I'll do absolutely.
do
we
a
can
double
both
shock?
do it.
Okay.
We should probably run this by Uncle Mike and see how he thinks, like safety wise, if it's a good idea. Like,
Yeah, he is sort of the safety
Yeah,
inspector of our
yeah,
crew, eh?
yeah.
Doctor
Uncle Mike.
Mike, yeah.
Dr. Uncle Mike. Okay.
I'm just saying it's something to consider
That's fun.
because I think we can do a lot of fun things.
Yep.
You know,
I love it.
There's no bad suggestions here.
there's no bad suggestions,
Guys,
right?
this has been one hell of a show. How do you feel you did?
How do I feel? It's been
I
specific.
enjoyed it.
Well,
I thought it was fun.
I know you were awesome. I'm talking about this.
I enjoyed it. I was like, I
were
don't know
all
anything
worried.
about music,
Yeah,
so
and look how good you did. This is what I'm
Well-
talking about. You overcame that fear, man. You took it and you said, "Oh, I'm going to use that." And you
I
were
wasn't
a
af-
star again.
I wasn't afraid. I was.
You're so good at this.
I was.
What was that?
That was Ryan making chicken
damn
noises.
chickens again.
I just
Step
didn't.
on a duck?
I just honestly didn't think I would be value compared to Matt, who's just like a legend at all this stuff.
And what do you think now?
And well, I think that I learned a lot.
I think
So-
that you did great, and you should learn to just acknowledge that because you absolutely. That's 2 days in a row now where you've come on and you stole the show. So
Yeah, I know.
with that in mind, LB, what do you say we get some Frankie's Fingers ready to go here, and we will play our way out.
I guess
as
fear
it
is a good
has
teacher.
begun.
Fear is a good teacher. I wasn't scared, but fear was a good teacher.
Here we go. Are you going to play piano at all? You never got to play the piano.
I've never played the piano
It's
before.
starting. We're going. As we get played out by the boys. Thank you again for joining us on this Tuesday. It was an absolute honor to have these boys in. To Dragon, dude, I just finished telling you, you crushed it, and you're still crushing it on those keys. I'm very proud of you. To Matt from all the bands, thank you for always making Tuesdays great. To Uncle Mike on the road, we love you. We hope you're traveling safe and sound, and we can't wait to see you next Tuesday. And another edition of the All at Angst podcast will be out this Thursday, so be on the lookout for that. Right now, episode 2 is fully rolling, and it's a fantastic one for you to enjoy. You can find it anywhere you find any of your audio-based shows that you look for. Even on Amazon, I learned today that Amazon has audio stuff, which is pretty cool. To the boys in the booth, LB, I love you. You're amazing, beautiful. Every second I spend with you, my life gets better. To Network Ryan, get that hammer out of here, buddy. I don't want anything to do with that. Just threaten you with a hammer. I love and appreciate you both so much. Thank you for doing all that stuff in there. To the lovely Aaron, thank you for coming by. As always, great pleasure to see you. To our friends, the Bamford Bros, we'll be seeing more of you in the future. It's so hard to ignore that. Remember, karma's very real. Be kind to each other. You start doing good things, you'll notice good things will start happening to you. Like this. Good things like this will start happening to you, all right? Just keep going, keep trying, and keep being kind. Wow. Amazing.